Am I a waffle for doing these things? Am I a sprinkle bean for asking my fiancé to pay a bride price? Important note, I'm not asking for opinions about the entire concept of bride prices, just whether I was wrong in how I handled this. My fiancé, 32, white European, and I have been together for 7 years. I first came to his country for school, and I've been living and working here ever since. From the start, he showed genuine interest in my culture. He asked me to teach him my language, traditions, and we even traveled there together several times. Last year he proposed, and I happily said yes. We started planning our wedding, or maybe we were planning it, and I mentioned that we shouldn't leave out my family back home. We could have a traditional ceremony in my country and a white wedding in his, so no one would need to juggle visas or long flights. The issue came up when I explained we'd need to pay a bride price, called lobola, where I'm from. He scoffed. I clarified that bride price isn't just about handing over money, it's a centuries-old ritual meant to unite two families. I've always dreamed of experiencing that process when I got married. I reminded him he already knew about my culture's marriage customs, including this step. We both work in law and human rights, so he assumed I'd reject the practice. I explained I only oppose it when it's forced or treated like a cash grab. I want to honor my parents and our heritage. He refused, saying the tradition was outdated and felt like extortion, as if he'd be buying me. I reassured him my parents would only ask for a symbolic amount to mark the union of families. If they were trying to profit off me, he wouldn't be able to afford it anyway. I meant it as a joke, but it really toasted his marshmallows. He thought I was insulting him. I tried to explain, my parents aren't selling me, it's just an ancient ritual my community has kept alive for thousands of years, and I don't want to abandon it. I even said I wasn't sure I could marry someone unwilling to meet my parents in person and discuss the lobola process. He accused me of pressuring and manipulating him, which I don't think is true. He's known from day one who I am and where I come from. Dismissing it as old-fashioned feels Eurocentric, even after I explained its meaning. You're the sprinkle bean. Your job in human rights should make you aware of how bonkers some traditions can be. Just because something is traditional doesn't mean it's automatically good. Customs that even hint at people as property need to be retired. Full stop. Am I the pickle for firing an employee who posts spicy selfies? I'm 29 and own a successful event planning company. I started it about 7 years ago with my ex-wife. After the divorce, she left both me and the business, so I hired about 9 people. We now have an office and a tight crew who feel like family. About 6 months ago, one employee announced she was pregnant and planned to leave to be a stay-at-home parent. I was fine with it, but needed a replacement, so I hired Olivia. She's experienced, clients love her, and she totally gets their needs. Building good relationships is key in this job, and sometimes clients add staff on social media. With other employees, no problem. They post wholesome pics of family trips or pets. Olivia, however, considers herself an up-and-coming lacy pajama model. She uploads a lot of bold selfies and skimpy outfits and meme-worthy poses. Normally, I'd stay out of it, but I worried clients might see those posts and judge our brand. About a month after hiring her, I gave a friendly warning. Please stop posting such pics because it could hurt the company's image. She agreed and paused for a while, but soon went back to posting, even more often. During a hectic period, thanks global sneeze bug, she dropped new spicy shots every few days. Stressed, I fired her, saying I didn't want her on the team anymore. She threatened to sue me for discrimination and sexism, which wasn't my intent at all. Other staff threatened to quit in solidarity. Olivia's great at her job, and that's what matters. You can't police people's personal socials. You could make a policy about not adding clients, but you encourage that instead. Honestly, she'd have a solid case. No pickle detected. Like it or not, employers can decide if someone's public image fits their biz vibe. Posting almost naked selfies isn't protected from consequences. Olivia probably wouldn't win in court. Maybe craft a clear social policy going forward. Personally, I think lingerie pics are fine, but as your biz grows, set boundaries. Also, folks claiming she's untouchable, what if she posted pics waving a confetti flag for some super offensive group? Actions have consequences. Am I the cupcake for telling my mill about a secret family chat mocking her adopted daughter? My husband has 2 bio sisters, but back in his senior year, his mom came back from a trip with a baby girl. Let's call her Katie. I don't know how she adopted so fast or without her husband's approval, but it happened overseas. Maybe paperwork was simpler. My FIL was furious and threatened divorce, but she convinced him it'd be like bringing home a pet. He wouldn't need to lift a finger. They stayed together and he built a lukewarm bond with Katie, but never really parented her. Emil often had to beg him to babysit. He'd just feed her candy and watch her create chaos. With his other kids, he was way more involved. Nobody in the family particularly likes Katie. She's now 21, clingy, speaks in a baby voice, expects mom to bankroll everything. She's changed majors twice because school is too hard, never worked, and MIL gives in to her every whim. Katie also plays mom's guard dog, pulling pranks to entertain her. Recently, my husband got a message from FIL and started laughing. I glanced over, we don't keep secrets, and saw a pic of Mill and Katie shopping. Mill was in jeans and a sweater. Clearly, they were mocking Katie's eccentric outfit. The text read, "What on earth is she wearing?" My husband confessed there's a family chat, father-in-law, husband, and sisters, where they make fun of her. He showed me sneaky pics, some where she looked tipsy, captions like, "Send her back to the discount aisle or I might leave your mom over this." There was even a video of Katie lying in FIL's bed yelling for him to leave because she wanted to sleep with mommy, calling him mom's boyfriend. I honestly felt bad for her. I don't like Katie either, but that was mean, borderline cruel. They mocked her looks and rehashed embarrassing stories, so I told MIL. FIL texted accusing me of trying to ruin his marriage. He said he loves MIL and Katie and just vents that way. One Sil was angry, saying MIL was a terrible mom and they need somewhere to let off steam. MIL herself was rarely mocked in the chat. My husband said they were just joking and I shouldn't have interfered. Sure, Katie's difficult, but I pitied her. You're not the cupcake. Katie's tough, but mostly because of that family dynamic. Mom spoils her, dad's a snarky bully sneaking pics, siblings pile on. Her childish voice and wanting to sleep with mommy might signal trauma or developmental stuff, not just spoiled kid vibes. Am I the muffin head for refusing to take my shoes off at my buddy's house, which made his spouse cancel a whole D&D night? I'm 38, and I was invited to a D&D session with 4 other people at my friend Alex's place. He's 34. When I arrived, the door was opened by his wife, who immediately asked me to remove my shoes because they have a strict no shoes rule. Their baby crawls on the floor. I explained that I have a medical condition, bullous epidermolysis, which makes the skin on my feet extremely fragile. Even light friction or pressure can cause painful blisters and tears. I always need to wear supportive shoes with orthopedic insoles, even indoors. Walking barefoot or in socks is painful and can lead to bleeding. She offered to let me cover my shoes with grocery bags or wear socks over them, but I said that was unsafe for walking and honestly felt kind of insulting. She replied that she couldn't put her child's health at risk just to keep me comfy. When Alex came over, he said, "Just tough it out for a couple of hours or they won't let me host you." I told him I wouldn't risk my health for a D&D game. If having shoes on was such a big deal, I'd leave. As I headed to my car, I heard his wife telling the other guests that the evening was canceled because I caused a scene at the door. Later, Alex wrote in the group chat that the session was off, saying it would be weird to pretend nothing happened. Some mutual friends said I overreacted and should have just powered through. Others think Alex and his wife were being overly dramatic, ruining plans for everyone just because I decided not to stay. Dude, you're the muffin head here. I'm from Western Canada, where nobody wears shoes indoors. It's like the first rule of the Maple Lodge. If you've got a condition that means you need footwear, bring an indoor pair of comfy sneakers in a bag. That's how we all survived rainy elementary school days. Am I the marshmallow for siding with my 8-year-old Jake after he yelled at my wife? We were getting ready for a road trip across the country. Yesterday, Jake had a big argument with my wife, and today she's still frosty toward both of us. Quick backstory. Jake has mild autism. Sometimes he struggles with emotions, but otherwise he's a regular kid. Loves sports, video games, and wants nothing to do with anything he thinks is too glittery. Totally age-typical. I was gaming with him while my wife packed. She called him into the bedroom. 10 seconds later, I heard him shout, "Seriously? Who even are you, flapjacks? Get that silly thing away from me!" I expected to see her scolding him, but instead she was trying to pull a pink sparkly t-shirt with a celeb print over his head, obviously made for girls. She explained that his cousin Jennifer, our destination, is about Jake's size, and she wanted to check if the shirt would fit her before packing it. Jake, nearly in tears, yelled, "I don't care, figure it out yourself, I don't like you right now," and bolted. I told my wife she should have known how that would end. It was obvious he wouldn't enjoy being forced to model that shirt. She snapped that it was just a shirt and he could have helped, given everything we do for him. Therapy, doctor visits, activities, etc. That stung. We're his parents, not loan sharks. He doesn't owe us for basic parenting. She went on, saying his behavior had worsened lately, not true, and he needed punishment for acting like a little gremlin. I flatly refused. We were about to see cousins. I wasn't punishing him just for refusing a sparkly tea. I suggested discussing it in therapy later. She argued he'd shouted at her. I replied, "Well, yeah, you tried to make him wear something he finds embarrassing. I'd probably have shouted at my mom too if she'd done that." She stayed icy all night and refused to cook dinner. I ordered pizza, not as a reward, but because it made sense before a long trip. No dishes. She saw it as me spoiling him after a tantrum. This morning, she's still cold toward us. To top it off, my sister-in-law always sides with her, so I'm bracing for her hot take once we arrive. Honestly, everyone's a bit of a marshmallow here. Jake's words aren't okay. He should learn better ways to speak to mom. Your wife wasn't right either though, and you two need to talk about how you all communicate. 8-year-olds don't invent spicy words on their own. They pick them up somewhere. Am I the cinnamon roll for telling my sister that her boyfriend is only dating her because of his, quirky snack-related fascination? My sister, 25, and I grew up in the South. Our dad weighs almost 400 pounds, and mom is about the same. I used to be on the heavier side too, but after moving to sporty Colorado for college, I slimmed down a lot and started caring about fitness. Last year, I earned my personal trainer cert, and recently I got a rhinoplasty to fix a crooked bump on my nose. A few months ago, my sister moved in with me. She wasn't thrilled about my weight loss and makeover, though overall we get along. We bicker sometimes because she thinks I'm vain. She weighs around 300 pounds, and while I've offered to help her get healthier, she insists looks don't matter. I truly don't care what she looks like, I just want her to feel strong and confident. She can get defensive, especially about guys. When we've gone out to bars together, people have sometimes been rude. Stuff like, "That's your sister? Wouldn't have guessed," or giving all their attention to me. I always stood up for her, but I know it hurt her self-esteem. She's cried before, wondering why no one accepts her as she is. Back in January, my boyfriend of 2 years cheated on me. My sister said maybe he left because I was too demanding and obsessed with appearances. I stayed quiet. Around the same time, she started dating a new guy. I was happy for her, but something felt off. He stared at her in a weird way when she ate, and he always planned dates that clashed with our healthy activities. Since then, she's gained weight and grown more hostile toward me. He buys her piles of junk food, insists she eat more, gets overly handsy, and constantly talks over her. They rarely have deep convos, just watch TV. She hasn't met his friends or family, and she complains he never posts about her on social media. A month ago, a friend of mine, who knows about unusual kinks, recognized my sister's BF from a site about feed me stuff. I didn't want to interfere, but it nagged me. Recently, I downloaded a dating app, and when my sister peeked at my matches, she said, "I only get them because I'm shallow." She added I'd have better luck if I stopped obsessing over my looks, and that her BF loves her for who she is, unlike my type of guys. That stung, and I snapped. I told her BF doesn't truly love her, he's just into his peculiar snack hobby. If he cared, he'd worry about her well-being, not just his interest, and he'd introduce her to his people. She hasn't spoken to me for a week and says I'm awful. Our parents took her side. You're not the cinnamon roll. Your intentions were good, and that dude is one giant walking red flag. But you have to respect that your sister's an adult and will make her own choices. All you can do is gently show her the evidence, reassure her she deserves better, and be there when it falls apart. Maybe deliver it less like a thunderbolt next time. Telling someone their partner is only there for a quirky craving rarely lands well. AITA for refusing to clean the otter enclosure every day instead of my pregnant coworker? I'm 22 and just started working at a zoo. My coworker and I are both newbies. She's training to care for small mammals while I'm a floater. Basically a junior keeper who fills in wherever needed. She seemed nice at first, but we didn't interact much because our tasks didn't overlap. A couple of weeks ago, she told me she needed help cleaning the otter enclosure and asked if I could do it every single day for the next while. Based on my limited experience with that pen, I knew it wasn't exactly a fun job and I wasn't thrilled. I asked why I should take it on daily when it's part of her duties. She said she's pregnant and the smell makes her nauseous. I said they're otters. The smell isn't a picnic for anyone, but she insisted. I finally said no. Why should I spend an extra half hour every day on top of my regular chores? She got mad, so I reluctantly helped her that day. It was 30 long minutes of ode to otter misery. The next day she asked again, and I stood firm. I told her I'd gladly help with other small mammals, but not the otters. She accused me of being heartless about her condition. We argued until our supervisor stepped in, basically siding with her and telling me to make time daily for the otter cleanup, calling it a reasonable accommodation. I felt that was unfair. Now she's giving me the silent treatment. I've worked with otters for 5 years, one of those while pregnant. I made this account just to say you're being a bit of a banana here. If your floater job includes assisting senior keepers, that's part of your role, period. If you didn't have the time, you should have involved the boss earlier in a calm, professional way. All animals smell funky. Wait till you meet a herd of large hoofstock with an upset stomach. If you can't handle that, this may not be the career for you. Everyone's a bit of a bagel here. Your coworker should have gone to the supervisor first instead of making it your daily burden. That's a management call, especially since pregnancy accommodations are their responsibility, and you deserve clarity about your duties. Otherwise, you're stuck doing an extra half hour every day that isn't officially yours. Thanks for watching, folks. Drop your verdicts in the comments. Who's the waffle, who's not? And don't forget to check out our other posts. See you next time.